Hi everyone, Animal Girl here, back with another edition of Movie Talk. This week's movie is sort of a fantasy historical movie, and by fantasy historical, I mean the bulk of the movie is fictional, but it does revolve around a historical figure with two other historical figures as part of the cast. And that movie is Anastasia. A spellbinding mix of adventure, comedy, romance, and music. This animated special tells the thrilling story of the lost Russian princess Anastasia and her incredible quest to find her true identity. When the shadow of revolution falls across Russia, the royal family's youngest daughter barely escapes with her life. Years later, Anastasia and a band of heroic companions must battle the evil Rasputin, his sidekick Bartok the Bat, and a host of ghostly minions in a headlong race to reach Paris, reclaim her rightful destiny, and solve the greatest mystery of the 20th century. Okay, highlights of the movie. This movie was made back in 1997, so it's about 20 years old, and is a musical historical fantasy film. And it tells the fictional account of what happened to the Grand Duchess Anastasia after the fall of her family. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Anastasia was a real person who lived in Russia during the turn of the last century, so in the 1900s. Her family, the Romanov family, and this is just historical backstory for you, did rule Russia for 300 years, and her father, Nicholas, was the last Tsar of Russia. Now, her family fell out of power during World War I, and I forget what it is, but Parliament basically took over running the country, and the Bolsheviks had the Romanov family arrested and finally executed. And I can't remember the dates. You're more than welcome to look them up on Wikipedia. But interesting note, when they were found near the end of the last century in the 1990s, or when their bodies were, two bodies were missing. The body of Anastasia's younger brother and the actual heir to the throne, Alex, and then the body of one of the two girls. Now, it's unsure at this point in time whether the missing girl is actually Anastasia or, in fact, her older sister, Maria. Now, during the time period following that, many women came forward claiming to be Anastasia, and there was one woman who managed to convince many people that she was Anastasia, but she did pass away before DNA tests could prove or disprove her story. So just a little background history on Anastasia and her family. Okay, things I loved about this movie. First off, I loved the story. Even though it was fictional, excuse me, I am fighting a cold here. Even though the events were fictional, the character, Anastasia, was a real person. And there were two other characters in this movie who were real characters as well. One of them was the movie's villain, Rasputin, who was a real person in the employ of the royal family. He was considered a priest. And if I'm getting this wrong historically, I do apologize, but he would come in and pray over Anastasia's younger brother whenever the pain in his joints were acting up. Anastasia's brother suffered from, and I may be tripping over this because it is a scientific term, and I do apologize if I do, hemophilia, which means he had a clotting disorder in his blood. His blood would not clot. And back in the time period that Anastasia lived, there really wasn't a lot they could do for hemophiliacs, not like they can now. And again, if I'm mispronouncing the word, I apologize. I mean, now there's a lot we can do. We actually know what it is and whatnot. I mean, do hemophiliacs still have to be very careful? Yes, they do, but there is more more help available for them now than there was back then. But Anastasia's mother, and this is from a book I read. I'm not 100. It's supposed to be a historical fiction book, but I'm not 100% sure how accurate everything is. Probably relatively accurate, but again, I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, Anastasia's mother believed that Rasputin was a holy man and had the power to heal, and so every time that Alex got injured and something happened and he had a lot of pain in one of his joints, this person would come in, pray over him, and he would feel better. Now, was he really doing anything? Hard to say that long ago, especially considering all the people involved are now dead. But I'm going to leave that up for you guys to decide. But I love the story. So again, Anastasia was a real person. Rasputin was a real person. The other person in this movie who was an actual person is the Dowager Empress Maria. She was Anastasia's mother, the mother of Anastasia's father, Nicholas. So she was this, I believe it's pronounced Tsarina of Russia before Nicholas married Anastasia's mother. So again, you know, 3 real people were in this were depicted in this movie. The rest of the cast is all fictional characters. But again, I really love the story. I thought it was really good. Again, it is a fictional account as to what happened to her. There are a few historical inaccuracies at the beginning of the movie when they're talking about the fall of the Romanov family, but I'll get into that in a comparison video later on. Secondly, I loved the music. This movie had a lot of wonderful songs in it, and I absolutely loved it. You can find some really nice fan videos using some of the songs on YouTube. I have quite a few that I didn't make, but I have saved to my page that I absolutely love. And again, the music was just wonderful, amazing in this movie. Okay, cast. This movie had a great cast of actors. Some of them I'm sure you've heard of, whether or not you've actually seen them in other works or not. Their names will more than likely seem very familiar. Okay, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comments section. I do love to read those. Again, if I mispronounced any of the Russian terminology or names, or if I mispronounced that blood clotting disorder, if I got any of the historical information wrong, I do apologize. A lot of the historical information I got came from the Royal Diaries book, Anastasia, the Last Grand Duchess, and while I'm fairly sure a lot of it's accurate, it is a story, so some of it may be made up. So again, if I got some of that wrong, I do apologize. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you're watching on YouTube, or like and share if you're watching on Facebook, and feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and DeviantArt. I do have my name for those 5 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing. I will have the link for the 5 sites I mentioned in the description section if that makes it any easier for you guys to locate me on those sites. And for those of you watching on YouTube, I will have the link for my Facebook page in the description section. And for those of you watching on Facebook, I will have the link for my YouTube channel in the description section. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Feel free to check out my other movie talk videos. My movie talk special edition videos and my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, couple of things I'd like to touch on. First off, and this is for my YouTube subscribers, any of my videos that cannot be found on my YouTube channel are on my Facebook page. Again, the link will be in the description section. And this one is for my Facebook friend. Any of my videos that cannot be found on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. Again, the link will be in the description section. I will be posting the links for all of my YouTube videos to Facebook. However, if you're having any problems viewing them, just go right to my YouTube channel. And if you're looking for TV Talk, here's a list of all the TV shows I've either done TV Talk videos on or am currently doing TV Talk videos on. As always, thank you for watching, and have a very nice day.